How are you doing? My name is R6 and I am with Platypus, and today we are going to be casting the Flare Gaming League match, Zomblers versus Immortals R6. Firstly, I just want to say welcome Platypus and thank you for joining. Tell me, how are you doing today, mate?
Well, thanks for having me here, Piercing. I'm doing all right. I'm looking forward to seeing what we have here. Got two teams that I haven't seen too much about, but I've heard quite a bit about, with Zomblers having a bit of a little, not to say drama, but a tad bit of tea going on over the last little bit. Former possible CL roster that ended up disbanding and
Yep.
having an entire new team fill their shoes. Definitely a big step to have for any team to try to move up to CL, but then an even bigger event to happen with this new team now filling their place. So I'm really excited to see how they're going to be going up against Immortals, who've already played a game in this league so far and have gotten themselves second in their bracket, netting themselves with one map win and one loss to get themselves 3 points so far. So honestly, I'm a bit excited about it.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of pressure on Zomblers and their new roster to see if they can make this work. And honestly, Zomblers is a pretty big org, so if anybody's going to make this work and push them into CL, it is definitely going to be them. Immortals, though, it's a relatively new team, though. I have not heard of them. At first, I thought it was like the Immortals, like the PL team, and I was like, oh my goodness. But no, it's Immortals R6. Totally different team, everybody. But with that being said, as Platypus mentioned before, this is going off of points, so there is not going to be any eliminations tonight, not that I know of. This is just for standing. And with that being said, we'll be moving on to the maps that we'll be playing tonight.
So we have, wouldn't you guess it, we have Oregon. You love to see it every time. Every time you go to watch a game of competitive Siege, you get Oregon. However, one that I don't normally see nearly as often, we also have Theme Park, which I'm looking forward to. This Theme Park allows for a lot more, not to say logical play and strategic play styles, but also just better team play overall. It's not so much the style of how well you can perform and do your basics, whereas you can just play as a team and play specific to how your team plays with Theme Park. So I feel like it's going to be a great time.
Yeah, no, I love Theme Park. It's probably one of my best maps on attack, ironically. In fact, last time I played it in ranked, I think I went 12-3. I mean, I hard carried my team. Everyone went negative. I love it. It's a great map. It's a personal favorite of mine for sure. And with that being said, yeah, that's definitely one of my personal favorites. If you ask me, way underrated.
I mean, I can't remember the last time I played it in ranked, to be honest. It's been a while. I would see it banned.
Oh yeah, they always ban that map. Are you kidding me? I
It's like
can't.
comp. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, no, it's comp too. But you got to keep in mind that's more. Honestly, I feel like it's more of a T4 kind of thing for it to be banned as T4, T3 for it to just be banned 24/7. So
Right.
I think with this being more higher tier teams, that especially in this league, it's not going to be happening quite as often. Still
Right.
waiting to get the teams invited, so it'll be just a moment. But you were saying?
You know, with how T4 teams, even T3 teams sometimes, they always really like to default to that Oregon, that clubhouse, that villa of all things, even sometimes cafe and chalet as well. But it's a very usual type of maps to be able to watch and to play, especially having played in some T3 myself. It's I remember vividly a time that I played nothing but Clubhouse for 3 months straight, actually. And it was the worst thing I've ever had to experience. But on top of that, it's like all these teams really know their basics for these easy run-of-the-mill maps, but then going on to maps like Theme Park, like Skyscraper, it's very interesting to see how they take it, because they don't play these maps as often, and B, it's, well, I mean, back to point A, they're not as fresh in their minds. It's not something that they're as used to, and on top of that, if the other team is more well versed in this map, it provides a big challenge to them to
Mm-hmm.
be able to overcome that, and often seems to end up having to be fought with gun skill alone when their strats don't work.
Yeah. No, I could have said it better myself. So we'll see how many points each of the teams are going to be able to pick up. But let me ask this, Platypus, what do you think are going to be your predictions for who's going to win each of the maps? How do you think this will play out?
Well, I mean, with I believe Immortals going to defense first on both sides, they're going to have a good chance at taking both maps early on, especially Oregon out of the two, because, like I said, you get that defense and you get the basics rolling, and if you can get it, you got it. So it'll be definitely up to Zomblers to force them out of that into the second half moving in. So with Immortals having defense on both sides, I feel like they have a slight bit of an edge. But that being said, I haven't seen either of these two teams play, so I'm not sure whether they're a more defensive-oriented team or if they're a more attack-oriented team that can change the game, like, almost entirely.
Right. It's unfamiliar territory for us, everybody. So it's kind of hard to put a prediction. I mean, the comfort pick for me, at least, is going to be Zomblers, just because I've spoken with their organizer, and it's a massive org, so they're going to have a lot more funding, a lot more support in that regard. But we've seen teams with big financing that just can't really make much progress. You can throw all the money out of brick, and at the end of the day, it's still a brick. So, a brick wall. So that's a that's a really bad analogy, but the point still stands. It may not matter at all. It just really comes down to the moment-to-moment plays, which we will be watching over. We're still waiting on the fifth, and once that person gets in, we will be ready to go. So I do apologize for the wait. But yeah. So Platypus, how's your day been? What have you been up to?
Not too bad, just had some normal work, and then I absolutely passed out. I had a nice little nap for about 3, 4 hours, which
Wow.
which rare to me, so I'll take it.
Yeah, that sounds nice, because I stayed up till 3 a.m. getting all this production ready as well as I could. And then, I just,
I mean,
yeah, I could not, yeah. I didn't have time to
dedicated
nap.
to
I
the
needed to
work.
get this ready.
I mean, you dedicated to the work, and it shows.
Hey, gotta stick to the grind. That's what it's all about. Hell yeah. Uh, I really was hoping that we would have this ready, both teams by now, but it's looking like we're having some trouble getting our fifth team. So, with that being said, we're gonna go on a quick break in just a minute. So I do apologize for that, but we will be starting very, very soon. So it'll be just a moment. I do apologize for that. Give me just a second. Okay. Okay. Ignore that sound you just heard. But yeah, with that being said, give us a few minutes. We will be right back as we wait for these teams to get their players in to start things off. Alright, and we're back. I do apologize for the wait. We were having some technical difficulties with the lobby. We had a player that was stuck in squad and could not get out, and so he had to restart the game. You know, typical Ubi stuff with the party system being completely busted. Just completely busted. Yeah, I can't tell you how many problems I've had anytime I try to play ranked with my friends. But besides that, we are now getting into the first map of Oregon. We are ready to begin. I hope you're ready to go, because it's go time. Let's do this. Good luck and have fun.
Let the games begin, yeah. Alrighty, and now loading into Oregon. We're gonna get bans right underway. Piercing, what do we think we're gonna be seeing here?
So if experience is gonna tell me anything, we're gonna see a lot of defaults. So I'm expecting Flores, Solus. Okay, and we're already Thatcher. I'm already wrong. I'm still gonna bank Flores. I'm still gonna bank Azami. That's kind of what I'm calling here.
Fair enough, fair enough. I feel like that's a very solid thought process. You're gonna see the Flores right there. That's gonna make a lot of sense.
Bingo.
The Izami, it's out of here. No one likes the Izami around. They don't like people messing with the site much at all. But Solus is gonna go first. Very interesting as well. Still have yet to see Azami used in a overly powerful way for comp with my own eyes, at least. So I'm curious to see eventually how she's going to be used. And they're going to keep the Azami up with Immortals banning Mira. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be mixing things up here. Okay. Alright, and now we go into the first round with Immortals R6 opting for Basement, which is honestly a decent site, but as a lot of my colleagues in the Casa community would agree, it's one of those sites where it can typically go one of two ways. It can be a straight up blowout, borderline rush in, or you get just shut down and you can't even take elbow. It really depends. It's just one of those swing sites. It can be really hard to deal with.
Well, a very interesting aspect of it, having this Azami to be able to really change around site, that's going to change just about everything about how they're going to defend the site, how Zomblers is going to attack the site, and all around just how this round's going to be played. I'm very interested to see how this is going to work.
Oh yeah, and it looks like Zomblers with their drones are going to be doing a bit of a top-down shower side push, so it's going to be hard for them to keep a roam presence. It might be a bit of a particular problem for Koj, who is currently the Oryx. And we're going to see Evo Zera switch from Maverick to a Ying, which I'm wondering how they're going to be going about that. And they're already running straight into rear stage. Are we going to see a sort of rush type approach? Doubt it, but it does seem that they're going to be putting a heavy emphasis on getting the pressure on as soon as possible. And as we see, KJ is above as well.
Well, looks like they're going to be taking a lot of pressure from Small Tower. Possible freezer take with Nuke already in Shower Hall, getting his extension reach all the way throughout the map, with the Oryx all the way up in top floor, just kind of hanging around, waiting for something to go. So I'm very interested to see how they're going to be taking this, if they're going to be forcing the Oryx out of upstairs, or really just working around him until he poses a big threat, with them already taking tower control into Attic. Looks like Yana moving through Attic for the most part, I believe, with Oryx falling back a little bit towards Armory's side.
All right, and now House is going to be getting ready to swing stairs as she is currently stuck over in rear stage. A little bit of shots going towards Meeting, but nothing connecting yet. And Koj will take the first pick onto Nuke. And the Azami swing from Kaverma taking houses. Evo Zero getting Kaverma and the refrag. But now it is a 3v3 as Jorn takes Koj as well. And that is going to be the roam presence from Immortals R6 cleared out.
And that's some big kills already with a minute 30. Taking out that roam, putting it into a 3v3. They have the time and the ability to work the site with their main fraggers still up. They still have the Yana. They still have Hibana being able to open up these hatches and Mute being spotted on drone at bottom freezer. He's not going to fall off. He's going to hold this. He's going to play it with the shotgun. He's playing it close. He doesn't have a laser to get distracted. He goes for the shot. Taken out. Almost takes out Ying, but not quite up to par. He tried for the C4 rip, but it doesn't work. Just a minute remaining with a 3v2 with Evozera hurt very badly, and Hash moving down for the main laundry take.
Yeah, it's not a good situation for Immortals R6 as they are getting yinged out and Zomblers is starting to push up. But Glix is going to start getting aggressive, trying to see if he can catch one. Yana taking heavy damage. Jordan catching one, but Glix will catch the Evozera, but the refrag from Yana will clear out that round, and that will be Zomblers' first round on this map.
Already showing that they're not anything to be trifled with, able to take out that roam presence very early and very heavily going on, to be able to get into sight, be able to take that Mute off of Freezer specifically. And I mean, that right there just opened up the entire push from Laundry. Able to get that cross going, able to get the double side for being able just to, in general, hold your push moving in. That having that second shot into Freezer makes the Laundry push so much easier, because then you don't have to worry about being clustered and spearheaded through the laundry door. You have that Ying in Freezer able to hold your crosses no matter where you're going. And then now moving on to round 2, we're going to be going upstairs. A very more usual hold. So I'm very interested to see how Zomblers is going to pick this up, if they're going to be able to take their second round here.
Yeah, no, agreed. And another thing as well, I'm very surprised that a zombie was able to get away taking out houses from rear stage. That was honestly unexpected. They knew that a zombie was there, but then again, I guess they thought that she fell back in blue, and with the drone shot out, they didn't really have another way to reconfirm the positioning. And when the shots came from meeting, to which, you know, houses had her back turned, a zombie just took that in very good timing, but unfortunately was refragged by the Ying. So, I mean, by the Evozera. So, I mean, I would say a pretty good turn. Definitely an off angle that worked in their favor for sure.
Well, I mean, that's the name of the game on roaming. You play with fire, sometimes you get burnt, but sometimes you get an amazing play where you get some kills, you get some info destruction, and then you get back to sight. And it doesn't always work out, and with these entries doing their best to clear each other out, it's, well, I mean, there has to be a winner. And they already see that Jaeger's trying to do just that, trying to get some early picks, some early destruction, but they don't know that he's tucked in this corner so closely. And Buck's gonna walk right past him. Nuke doesn't know,
no.
and he's taken out by Jaeger, put into a 4v5. He almost reaches around the shower hall for the double to catch someone in small tower still, but he's going to get cut off and almost taken out by Yana on a, not to say a little bit of a whiff, but I feel like Hash totally had him there. But that, I don't know, that's just me.
Yeah, unfortunately, she just was not able to connect the dots. However, she will connect there, taking Koj out on the push from Kitchen, and now they have the ability to start taking more of that first floor control. However, Sci-Fi is still holding security, but will get caught with the Nazami over watching Bunks, and Hanu taking Hex, and now it is a 3v4. Nades going out, a bit of wall banging from the line from Evozera, but it is not going to go through. Sci-Fi taking a bit of damage, but Hanu will take Evozera from above, and now it is up to Houses and Jorn to make something happen, and Houses will catch Sci-Fi from the freezer rotate, and now with a minute left, numbers are looking a little bit more even, but it's going to be tough as there is one still holding close. Bunks, the fire goes out, but it is not over where Kaverma is. This could be a really bad situation for Jordan if he thinks he's clear and tries to go for a hop-in. Another fire for Hanu, and the smoke, a double smoke as well. We could see a potential hop-in, and Houses will push up and take Kaverma, and now the plant is going down. However, Hanu going for a nitro, and it's going to go too far, and it's not going to connect. Jover taking Hanu, and now it is a 2v1. The situation quickly turned around, and now it's up to Glix to make something happen here, but Jorn will catch Glix onto the swing of Bunks, and that will be another round for Zomblers as they were able to closely turn it around.
So we already saw there, Zomblers was in a big disadvantage, right? So Immortals had their entirety of control. They had a 2v4 advantage, They had the Mute playing that bottom freezer stair again. They had 3 up in sight. They had the Azami to make these new angles, to hold these new angles. But what happens? One by one, they're picked away. The Mute goes down without a fight from Gridlock's hand. Gridlock moves into sight, basically walks right up on the Azami. I don't even know where she got in from there, putting it into a quick 2v2. And then on top of that, it was just, they just played their ones and they made it work. They shut down the defense who was holding these crosses and were getting it going, and Immortals couldn't do anything about it. So now they're running back into a basement hold, seeing if they can make something work a little bit better than what we've seen so far. But
Yeah.
only time will tell.
And the thing, too, is that Azami was in such a good position to deal with the Capital. He missed the fire bolts on her, which could have killed her if positioned well enough right on top of her, but that just never happened. And, you know, they both, all of the roamers got, or everyone in Immortals got funneled by bunks, making all of that noise with the bolts that Iana was just able to walk up with seemingly no punishment and even get Azami and allow for a plant. Oh, I'm sorry, not Iana, Capital. That really, or I'm losing my mind. No, it was Iana. And that just set the stage for losing a round as Immortals R6 lost their control. No. Who disconnected? I hear that. No. And we're gonna see Varma come out with a Nitro. I'm gonna say play this out, and we will see if we need to reset this round potentially, because that might be the situation, is we will have to rehost this, but we're gonna play for now.
I mean, as it goes, things happen. You know, Ubisoft and Siege itself is just a great place that has no issues and flaws ever. However, we're moving into a 4v3 at the moment, just over 2 minutes remaining. Zomblers are moving the majority of top floor in this now 4v3 in favor of Zomblers, with a little bit of connection issues sending Immortals down the drain, which unfortunate for them, but what can you really do?
No, it's a very unfortunate situation. However, Evo Zero is gonna miss the drone onto blue stairs, Caverna, but she's gonna continue to push up to be aggressive and will now fall back. She could have definitely held that off angle and caught the Evo Zero for sure, but that's not gonna happen. And now with the Yin Candelas coming in, Caverna not getting flashed at all, still holding, and there comes the flashes. Sci-Fi taking a bit of damage from Laundry. A flash coming in, and now Sci-Fi is full blinded, and the Yin Kando is coming in with Hibana very close by. It was Zero taking some damage from Caverna, and Sci-Fi will actually take Nuke out, getting Jorn as well for a double kill. And now we see the push up further, but Evo Zero has made up, taking a Hanu. Caverna taking Evo Zero, but the peak and Houses will get Sci-Fi as he's cornered, and now it is down to a 1v1 as the plant goes down. However, Caverna getting very close up to the rotate, and the plant will be stopped by Houses as he now looks to aggress to finish this out. A bit of pre-firing, not going to connect as House is still a bit back. 13 seconds left. Grid's got to make a choice. Do you push this or do you try to go for a plant? Because right now you are out of options. You got to take this gunfight. But Thunderbird's not watching the right ring, and she's going to just run away into Closet as Houses is going to run out of time, and that's actually going to be Immortals' first round as Grid Houses could not get Thunderbird. She saw Thunderbird's back end, but couldn't connect the shot. And T-Bird, knowing how slow Thick Lock is, just bolted into Closet and got away with it. And that will be another round, or that will actually be Immortals R6's first round. Alright, looks like everyone's back in, so I'm going to resume the timer.
But I mean, that's kind of the best way you play that. You have the time, and you don't have to peek it. Of course, with Thunderbird having that spear, she's a very powerful op to be able to take that 1v1 against the Gridlock LMG. However, it's not necessary. She doesn't need to push it. You can just wait that entire thing out. And it looks like Gridlock almost caught her in the back end while they weren't really paying attention. However, I feel like they're more just listening for the plant to go down more than anything. So luckily enough for Immortals, they were able to churn it out and get the win on time, which, what better way to play that, honestly.
Oh yeah,
So,
and I
got
mean,
that round win.
and keep in mind they were at a man disadvantage too, and they still managed to win it out. So I mean, good for them for making the best out of a bad situation. And keep in mind, a lot of these rounds have still been relatively close. We're not seeing any major round differentials and or player differentials, and no flawless rounds up to this point. So still very winnable despite the setback, and that's exactly what Immortals R6 did. They took that man advantage and they full sent it, with Sci-Fi getting 2 major picks, which destroyed the laundry push. So that was well done from them. And now Zomblers is gonna be pushing from what looks to be, they're a bit split at the moment. Oh, KJ already taken one from meeting. Nice.
And that's a good pick, like I was saying, on the roam, trying to do anything to get these picks, to move it along. That's a big deal. Being able to grab that early kill is just gonna help you out so much in the late round, not having to worry about these roams. And with Kai just kind of chilling in attic, contesting these Maverick holes very aggressively, and surprisingly so for being an anchor, playing on stacks, able to get the down onto Yana. Maverick not doing anything to contest, maybe getting a couple flashes to be able to get that res off safely, but that's a lot of damage going out, and it looks like Jordan is going to go down in the meantime by the hands of KJ, which is another great pick on the roam, and Lion going down as well in Armory into a 2v5. Maverick now getting into attic, picking up one, maybe looking for more as he moves and waits on the attic hatch. He knows that Yana is still down, able to get them back up with 20 health remaining, able to move to the rest of the site. They know they're in tower. They have smoke toxic babes going out to be able to cut off their push, and now they're having to move around to find an entirely new way to take it. And with another kill going out by KJ, getting a 4th, that'll put him on a nice little 4K going into this last, the end of that round. That's a big, powerful play by the roamers there.
Yeah, looks like we might have a skin dispute. We'll have to talk to admins about that, but yeah, for now, yeah, I mean, honestly, Zomblers just got destroyed by Immortals R6's roam presence. KJ putting the work in and really getting a lot of damage. A roam presence that they just did not adapt to, and they even struggled to get the wall open, with Yana barely not able to see Cade's head, who had a full line of sight on her, downing him, which is very unfortunate with the way that the Maverick holes were set up. If it was just a little bit shifted, they would have been able to take that, but unfortunately that was not the case.
It looks like we're going to be going to dining this time around. Very, not to say unfavored compared to meeting, but definitely the less seen out of the two. It's very interesting to see how they're going to be able to make this work. But when I feel often when teams run with a relatively, in quote, unpopular site, they end up usually doing quite well on it, because of course they're not going to take to a certain site for a reason, and it looks like we're going to have a little bit of a disconnect for one reason or another. Unfortunately for Immortals being put into a now 5v4. See if there's going to be a rehost called.
Yeah, I'm going to call a rehost. Say, go ahead.
Alrighty.
So we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. No?
No rehost?
No rehost. Never mind. Sci-Fi is not going to call.
So sitting at 5v4 now, with Immortals in the man disadvantage, Zomblers are going to be moving through the majority of tower side, getting a lot of T1 and T2 presence right off the rip, able to extend to the entirety of upstairs. As you know, they're going to be playing this roaming game very heavily, I imagine, with KJ up on the roam, being a very big opposition force for Zomblers now.
Yep. And with the current situation right now, Zomblers looking to take a very rear stage heavy side approach, but not much presence from Immortals R6 at the moment, with the line scan from Eva Zira, and Nuke already taken one Kaverma, who was below, and now we have Koj, who is holding kids, almost getting popped off by Nuke, and Koj will actually take Evo 0 and take Hex as he gets very aggressive, now pushing to rotate to try to take Nuke as well, who is now crouch walking into kids. Koj is in a good position to take this gunfight as Nuke doesn't really have much of an idea of where he is, but that is not going to happen. That 2 picks has easily evened out the numbers, with Koj going absolutely ballistic, 7-3, having a strong road presence that Zomblers is really struggling to get around with. He's always in just the right spot to take the refragger off guard and get 2 picks as a result.
But with Koj on their main entry position, he's there for a reason. But however, he's sitting there with low health now, and he's now going to be having to push Nuke out of Kid's bedroom, or just wait for them to do something. They still have the Thermite and the Gridlock, which, as I say that, Gridlock goes down, and so does Koj. That's 2 heavy forces on each side taken down. And now just Jordan and Nuke on Zomblers against... who is that? Sci-Fi, and I cannot read that last one, however.
Hanu, yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, got you.
Alright, and now with that, we're going to see one more pick. Jordan taking Sci-Fi as a refrag, and now it is down to the 1v1. We're going to see a smoke come in as he tries to run in and plant, but he's going to get caught by Hanu, who is still holding above, and that is going to be another round for Immortals R6 as they now have round advantage.
All I can say to that is well played. That was a smart hold on the vert there to make something work when the entirety of site is completely clear. If Thermite knew that was what was going on, they might have been able to rotate all the way around to get something going on the other site. However, that worked out really well for Hanu.
Oh yeah, I mean, the push up, being able to take one and just hold that really set up Zomblers for failure, unfortunately. No. I forgot the pause. I'm sorry. Yeah, we're gonna do a rehost to give him a chance to come back. That's my fault, as I had to update the map ban settings. So I do apologize about that. We're gonna get the rehost going real quick. It'll be just a minute.
But on top of that, round 5 there, this is really showing how heavy of a roam game this is coming down to, with Immortals being on this roam so heavily, with Koj taking multiple kills each round, doing a whole lot of work for the entirety of Immortals. Zomblers is having to do a lot and put a lot of manpower, effort, and time into clearing him out, along with the rest of the roamers that may be lying in wait. So I feel like this is going to come down to how well Zomblers is able to clear, and then on top of that, moving in to the next half in just a couple rounds. I'm curious to see how Immortals is going to be taking this on attack, and if Zomblers are going to have nearly as aggressive of a roam game.
Yep, definitely, for sure. And with that being said, we're going to go on a quick break as we get this rehost going, so teams will be able to get back in. I do apologize for that, as I'm running a lot of things in the background. It's been a bit chaotic trying to get this going, so I just was not able to catch it on time. That's my mistake. So we'll be back in just a few minutes, and then we'll be right into the game. Thank you for the patience. I do apologize for that. All right, and we're back, everyone. Apologies for the holdup. Custom is ready to go. Everyone is back in. And before I start, real quick, I do want to say, though, that Immortal R6 so far has won 3 rounds in a row. They've gotten a lot of momentum, so Zomblers might want to even call a timeout to turn this around, but due to technical difficulties, they may have just gotten it anyway, and that's my mistake. I do apologize for that. But with that being said, everyone is ready to go, so we're going to get right back into the next game. Good luck and have fun, everyone. Sorry for the technical difficulties.
Now, without further ado, I do have something that I do want to mention. So it looks like for Team Immortals, they actually have their coach, Hanu, playing, instead of their usual flex player Glix, which is very interesting to me, because sometimes that's how it goes, and like sometimes, or no, sorry, not Glix, because he is still here. Remo, their usual support, not their IGL, but they're just standard support. So they're having Hanu switch in for that, which we can already see with him on the Kaid as well still, and the previous smoke round as well, which is very interesting, because often when teams don't have their normal players, normally they'll have some sort of sub rather than their coach step in. But I mean, hey, it's working for them so far. They have the rounds won, at least in the book for me. So now they're moving up to second floor, hoping that they can take this yet again. I believe they were able to take round 4 on second floor, which is good for them now, being able to run it for round 6. Hopefully they're able to make something work out of it.
Yep, and this is going to be Zomblers' chance to get a reset. You know, we had a bit of a rehost, so everyone's got a time to kind of take a breather from all the intensity. So if you're going to get a first round after a good minute, now is your chance. But looks like Zomblers will be going for what looks to be a split take between small tower and from street side. So I'm curious how that will go for their setup as they start to put the pressure on. And Immortals R6 are currently doing a 3 anchor 2 roam setup at the moment, with Cade, Smoke, and Doc all playing towards bunk side with 1 in kids.
I'm curious, with Glix all the way off-site towards Small Tower, they have the potential to come across multiple attackers, which they will, and are quickly taken out by Nuke. That's an early pick on the roam, and a very unfortunate, to say the least, for Glix, all the way on his own, on an island per se, and being able to be taken out so quickly by Nuke there, which is going to be a great step for Zomblers so early in the round, but what can they really do about it? You got caught.
Yep, and now Koj is looking to get really active over in Z-Hall after getting spotted and getting spot over in Z-Hall. No picks yet so far other than the one we saw earlier, and Koj is gonna just dash in from White and is somehow still alive, and Sci-Fi's gonna take some serious damage. Evo Zera getting 1 over immediately, taking Hanu out, and now it is up to Sci-Fi, Karma, and Koj, who is in a very tight spot right now, being over in top White, and they still know he's there. Gridlock being able to cross without Koj catching him. Too tight of an angle for that. With 1 minute and 20 seconds left, Zomblers is in a pretty comfortable position to set up and start taking control of site. And now Koj moves back up to get onto site, with everyone still over bunk side with Karma over in kids. They know the hatch is going to be open.
I'm surprised that Koj even made it out of there alive to begin with. That was very risky what he made work to get over into the top of Freezer Stairs, but he made it work. And now with floor nades coming out from below from Hash in this 5v3, Zomblers have a good spot here, and they have the manpower to make this work. But our Immortals can be able to play these angles and play these now vert holes, which they're going to come very close to catching one, but no, they're going to be taken, another player's going to be taken out by Evo Vera, put it into a 5v2. That's going to be Doc, Sci-Fi right off the board, with Plant going down, 30 seconds remaining in a 5v2. This is a absolute stomp of a round so far, put into a 4v2, with Smoke now being alone on a 4v1, grabs a second, looking for a third. There was a toxic canister. He knows that Diffuse is down, he knows that they're going to be holding it, but do they know where it is? Probably not. He checks for bunk 90, is holding white heavily. He doesn't look where the corner with Capitao is holding very sneakily and walks right past him as Zomblers takes yet another attacking victory. And now we're going to be going over to our second half with Zomblers on defense.
Yeah, that was so very unfortunate. I mean, it was a good try from Immortals R6. You know, they were starting to get some picks onto the entry, especially Smoke taking that headshot from on Ace from the double, or from the kid's window. However, with the plant going down, you know, that had the Capitao, you had one up white, and with just their positioning, which was more direct on site, with really just no way to physically prevent them from walking in with all of the obscurity that they had with the Capitao bolts, the fire, you know, there's really not a lot that you can do there. But their aggression is what I would say is a good call to even out the numbers, which they started to do, but the post-plant situation was just too much for Immortals R6 to really handle. And with that, it is now round swap, and Zomblers has evened it out with a 3-3 split.
I mean, it is a tall order, of course, to take a literal 5v1 all alone, and with relatively low information. However, being able to get that into a 5v3 with not a lot of damage onto your person in general is no small feat, especially running with the smoke on the SMG-11, being able to get those quick headshots and keep it in controlled sprays with the SMG-11 is so crucial, whereas that basically becomes your primary, and you have to make every one of those 17 bullets count every time you shoot your gun. So it's a very big play to be able to make that work as effectively as they did, and unfortunately for Immortals, it didn't work out quite the way they hoped. However, they still put on a great display of power, and which they're going to try to do yet again on their first attacking round, trying to get a little bit of small tower control with a zombie hash playing on this small tower, very aggressively holding the angles from the Kiba barrier, able to take one, even get a little bit of damage onto Thermite out the window as well, using these Kiba barriers to their maximum efficiency, getting their hold completely their own and making it completely impenetrable from these attackers, getting even more damage onto Thermite. That's going to be a big pick going out by Hash, able to grab it and put it into a 5v3 on their own, and finally taken out by the Capitao to a 4v3, able to get this small tower control. Finally, they're able to make something happen, but is the time that they spent cleaning out Hash from the rafters there gonna be a big deal?
Honestly, I would say so. I mean, we're already down to 1 minute 30 seconds, and with the round advantage, all the roamers can comfortably fall back, and as we see, Nuke is already shower side, but Immortals R6 now has small tower control. Hanu taking a little bit of damage, a shield as well, and even more feed damage, bringing him down 50 HP. The Evo Zero is going to manage to take one, despite the fact that there's an Osa just pushing up, and a swing, kicking one, but the small tower is stuck but on the Nomad, but he is still alive, and they got live pings. They know that he's outside at the moment, and we're going to see a bit of a peek, but Evo Zero will still take licks out despite that. The aggression from Echo, Evo Zero being able to swing on the shield, take one, contest the Osa shield from an off angle, and still manage to kill Nomad despite getting hit by the charge. I mean, Immortals R6 just could not play ball with small tower. And I love the aggression from the Azami second floor. All you need is a little bit of support with the Aruni gates on the window, and it is so hard to deal with. And with the feed holes, I mean, that was a setup made in hell for Immortal R6's push, and it clearly shows as they could not get, even when they got control, they could not hold it, as it just fell apart so fast. A great play from Zomblers in how they set that situation up.
And that just goes to show why exactly Azami is banned so often. You're able to completely take that hold and make it your own whenever and however you want. Able to take out the IQ, the Thermite, and even get a lot of damage onto other ops as well, putting them into a bad situation with Zombler's advantage already so heavily apparent. But, like, that's the thing. You can edit and make these holds unique to yourself and how you play them, and that's such a big deal on defense. Able to keep the keep the attackers guessing and very just unaware of what you're doing in general. That's a big power play to have.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the beauty of first floor. With so many different options and so many, you know, possibilities, because you got a floor above, you got a floor below. It's not just a matter of denying them from pushing up or taking certain rooms because it's tight. No, it is so very open. So you can either choose to isolate things or you can choose to open it up and play aggressive. And that's the choice that that Zomblers made, and a choice that won them the round.
And it looks like that's the same choice that they're going to be taking this time, as you see how spread their defenders are as well on the roam, just covering the entirety of the map. Jaeger on the roam, but looks like Evozera is taken out by Karma, and it looks like another's going to fall as well into a 3v5, quickly put into a 3v4 with Nuke all alone upstairs, taking a lot of damage and completely pinched and taken out all alone, and nothing to do about it. No one to refrag, nothing to go on with Sci-Fi on a little bit of a double kill here, moving exactly how Immortals feel like they should be, being able to take this whole top control, get a lot of vert going with Sledge, and being able to take a lot of control in general.
Yeah, no, looks like being split the way they did really just backfired for Zomblers, as now it is up to a 2v4. However, with everyone above except for Jackal, who is bottom white, the drones are going to spot the Cade, but that might be enough for things to turn around, as we still have a heavy vert presence. No one physically on site at the moment, and now Hex is going to start making, or Hash is going to start making his play over by meeting, going to play off of a melee hole, and now Castle trying to get aggressive over by Small Tower, but will get caught by Glix, and now it is up to a 1v4. Cade is going to have to make something work here in order to win this out, and now the plant goes through, the nade almost catching Hash, but it will not go through, and the plant goes through. Hash taking serious damage as he sprints in from the hall, but still alive and going to take Sci-Fi off of a nasty peek. And now it is, with 33 seconds left, 1v3. Cade has a lot of options to play this out. Actually, no, he has no nitro. He's just going to have to force all of these ones, and especially with one above, it's going to be a difficult play. Checking for the Nomads. There's not going to be anything there. One by the feet holes. And now the flashes, as Glix does not use a single flash, nor Hibana. And they're just going to flash spam to win out the round. And actually, Karma will just push in from rotate, finish off Cade.
Let's be honest, that's an easy Immortals victory right there. They took the entirety of upstairs, got the entirety of that roam game cleared by just being able to get that vert on, being able to do anything with that, able to lock down all these angles, and they're just able to force themselves onto site. Zomblers couldn't do anything about it. When they tried, they were taken out, and that just led to an easy Immortals plant, which put Zomblers into a 1v4 with a Kaid all alone with really nowhere to go. He had Green Hall, or he could rotate all the way around, but with those 17 seconds, it was a for sure victory of Immortals, as long as they all didn't go down in 7 seconds, which, mind you, it can happen. However, with the angles played by Immortals, it would have been highly unlikely for anything like that to occur, which led to their victory, put it into a 4-4. Pretty even split so far, moving into round 9, going up to second floor yet again for the first time of this defending half for Zomblers. Maybe we'll be able to see a little bit of something interesting this time.
Yeah, and one thing I am going to note as well is it seems that one team is unfortunately running skins at the moment, so we might have to do something rules side to deal with that. We might have to do a replay or something. I'm not too sure at the moment, but right now with it being 4-4, it doesn't seem like it's making that much of a difference, as both teams are playing this very close, and it doesn't seem like it's a issue of visibility. However, rules are still rules, and we'll see how the league has to deal with this. As with me being the only person on production, it's really hard to keep track of all these things, as well as the issues when it comes to like the rule book. So I'm not exactly up to code on that. Oh my gosh, but Onu is gonna catch houses regardless on the quick tap.
That's a good shot right there, I'll be honest.
Yeah, it is.
What a kill.
Yeah, it is. Holy.
A nice little burst to secure that one tap, while Glix is taken out in response by the Jaeger, I believe, just kind of hanging out in Armory, able to do a little bit of damage, a little bit more than what Zomblers would like. They're going to get that Candelic going out immediately, ADS. So that's going to be null in void in the eyes of Immortals, and it's going to be put into a 3v4 as Koj is going to be able to pick up the alibi in the meantime, with just a little bit remaining into now a 2v4 with Ying picking up another as well, quickly widening the span of advantage, but also just as quickly put back down into a 2v3. I mean, this can go either way still.
Yeah, these picks have been coming out really fast with the aggression, and Nuke is going to run out to kill Sci-Fi, and that's going to be a triple kill for him, as is now 2v2 with Karma and Hanu having to make something happen to win this out. But Hanu looking to sneak up to try to get a plan from top white. He's not going to be able to do that, as there's going to be a bar blocking and will indicate where he is, and Ying will run in to cover. No Candelas left, so they're not going to be able to do much for rushes. However, with no nitros or impacts on the board, they can force their way if they play this right. However, keep in mind, Karma still has smokes, which could pose as a good opportunity. I don't think Hanu knows that there's one tucked in the corner, and that is going to be Evo Zera, waiting for the double push as time slowly runs out. And there comes the smokes, but Nuke pushes through it, taking a quad kill, and that is going to be the round from Evo Zera, getting very aggressive onto the hop-in, holding prone.
I was kind of hoping that he would go for the ace. Unfortunately, with comp and such, of course, you take the round win over the ace. However, there's always a little bit of a room to ego an ace. But unfortunately for Immortals, they're going to be on the receiving end of that very powerful 4K, as well as that final kill on Big Window, and that's going to lose them their attacking round. But that's going to snag Zomblers another defending victory. Second one so far for them, with their only loss being meeting, which it looks like they're going to try to give a bit of a repeat this time, see if they can shake any faults out and make something happen this time around. They have to do a lot of work to force their hand on the second floor hold if they're going to make that work, because as we saw last time, Immortals just kind of stepped right in. They did not care that anyone was playing upstairs. Honestly, they encouraged it, as they just took out all of the Zomblers' defenses from upstairs. So, I mean, what are you going to do to prevent that? What are you going to do to stop the entirety of that push and make it something that you can hold confidently and properly to ensure that you hold this site? It looks like they're going to actually throw quite a few bodies up there to do just that.
It's hard to say what you have to do, but it is a question that Immortals R6 is going to have to figure out, as they are now dancing to the tune that Zomblers is getting a bit scarily close to winning this out, as they just need 2 rounds remaining. A ping going out for someone possibly up top main, but that is clear. And now we're going to see Immortals R6 making their way over into rear stage, with Karma already up into tier 1, looking to clear basement, which does actually see one there, and that is going to be Jorn, who is over in Freezer. Now the push comes in from Jackal, and we're going to see a swing soon enough. Who's going to take it? It's going to be Karma, as Jorn is just too slow to the trigger. Both having perfect crosshair placement, but Karma doing it better. And now the wall getting open from Sci-Fi, and now meeting is completely open. Nitros and breaches going out from Hash as he tries to play it aggressively, but is not going to see anybody yet.
You know, I'm very surprised that Karma on the Jackal even pushed as far as he did, really extending his roam clear to Freezer specifically. Just, I don't know, just a very interesting play.
Whoa!
Ash getting taken out on a bit of a one-tap by Karma, further extending his impressive display as a roam comes out by Jaeger, grabs one, picks up a second, looking for 3, and he picks them up. Nuke cakes them all. He's gonna try to go for more, I imagine, but no, they're gonna be cut down by Koj, put into a 1v2 all on his own, yet he's grabbing the kills he needs. The defender now falling off, with Koj and Glix remaining for Immortals. Evo Zera having to move into backstairs. They know where he is. He has nothing to do now. He has his MP5, and that is just about it. That's all he has to work with. An air jab already shutting him out, really just telling him where they are. And Immortals are going to take the round in spite of the immediate turnaround by Nuke coming up to do something, and that's a big victory.
Yeah, no, that was absolutely insane. The Jaeger taking 3 picks like that from meeting. Just an absolutely insane flank gone so well as nobody was watching the door for the execute. However, when rotating back, IQ running in fast responders catches a 2-for-1, going for Jaeger, but Koj just caught 2, which was an added bonus, and helped to even the numbers back out to get that side control, plus the nasty peek onto or from meeting. Gosh, what a series of gunfights. But unfortunately, Zomblers will not be able to retake that control as Immortals R6 slammed back just as aggressively and with just as much power and virality. And that, fortunately for Immortals, won them the round, is going to keep them back in, as now both teams inch so close to winning it out. It is anyone's game at this point with the back and forth that we have seen. And Nuke has security full reinforced. Wonder how they're going to be using that, possibly to stave off an extended push clear from rear stage, as Immortal R6 is now going from pretty much exclusively street side.
I can only imagine that's going to be turning around into either a top-down take with hatches or just a full freezer laundry. Because normally, if you're going to be running a bunker take or any type of back take, you're gonna get some bodies onto construction. That doesn't really seem to be the deal. We have Habana going up for tower, but that's a bit standard. With IQ already just in here, Koj is really ready to take the gunfight with Hash. Is going to catch him off guard, and that's an immediate pick for them, putting into a 4v5. Already getting ready to go back down the back stairs. But there's no one playing pillar. They have the Kiba barrier on stairs to be able to ward off any of these tackers, and now they also have Kaid playing in E-box, getting some damage onto Koj, and there's nothing really they can do about it. But for the most part, this entire defense is more focused on a freezer take or a laundry take rather than the backside. So I'm curious to see what they're going to be encountering here, as there's a bit of a 2-to-2 cross for this security freezer. Both Nuke and Jordan playing this very closely, while it looks like Karma and Sci-Fi are trying to contest. And in the meantime, Koj is going to go down all on his own from backstairs, and that's unfortunate for him. However, it looks like the rest of Immortals are ready to mobilize. They take out Jordan, and it looks like Nuke is going to fall back to keep himself alive, really playing safely while Nomad goes down from the long angle on Azami with an absolute fortress set up. Impact going out to secure the kill, but taken out from Freezer side, put into a 2v3. Trying to put this into a 1v3, trying to catch Wamai, and they will, with Houses just all alone, already taking damage. A minute left, and there's already so much big opposition, and just like that, Immortals will take another round.
Yeah, it seems like Zomblers is, Zomblers is just struggling to handle Immortals R6's momentum and aggression. I mean, we saw Koj so early on already into meaning, rushing up to hit Jaeger so hard, who had no idea. I mean, you really don't have much drones to deal with. You have Lobby, which always gets shot out from outside, and yeah, from there, there's just really nothing to indicate. And you had a drone holding the entire time to take that early pick. I mean, Immortals R6 just forced so many gunfights, and they made it work very, very well. Zomblers just, at multiple occasions, wasn't really in the right position to pick apart Immortals R6 because they had a fast-going momentum and made it work. What also made the situation worse for Zomblers was Jorn dying top freezer. I don't know what happened there, but he got swung, and that forced security fall off, who still got caught despite being able to jump the hatch. And now the timeout going out, this is Zomblers' chance to bring it into overtime.
Well, as we were seeing there, with Jordan being taken out top freezer, the entirety of Immortals collapsed on him. They had all 4 guys on that mute, which despite having the shotgun, there's only so much you can do when you have multiple people pushing your door all at once. So we already had Zofia and Thermite on the side of Z, and then we had 2 more additional attackers ready for the repeat from security. So they had him completely surrounded, both him and Wamai, and there was really nothing they could have done. Wamai able to get out of there with a little bit of safety on himself, but nothing to make it work well enough. And with Jordan going down, that really just cemented that freezer push and the openness to be able to get the entirety of site take with as dominantly as they did. However, they're now running back a second floor hold, see if they can make something work. They've already won it once, so they're probably hoping that they can pick this up and force it into overtime.
Yep, that's going to be their only option at this point as the rounds really dwindle down. But with how everything has been going so back and forth at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. But with Zomblers using their timeout so late on, Immortals R6 still going to have theirs for overtime. And we're going to see 3 over by White Stairs, Jorn, Evo, Jorn, Evo, and Hash, but nothing yet. And here comes the single push from Koj once again. Is he going to catch another? It's hard to say, but there is nobody over in security at the moment. No one to catch as Hash is bottom white, but Jorn from behind gets caught on the rotate, and that's going to be 1, but Evo is going to barely miss Koj for the refrag, giving away exactly where she is, allowing for attackers to push up, but Hash from Freezer will push up and shut down Koj and his fast takes, but that's already 1 early pick out, which has seemingly been her job this entire time ever since we've identified this pattern. And with a minute left, it is a 1v1, but it's going to be a lot harder to get the Cades as now she's out of the way, but it doesn't matter as we're going to see the push from Attic with the Osa shield. They're just playing this very aggressively. However, Hanu could possibly get caught by 1 over in Trophy.
Now the question is, how does Zomblers let this happen? They let them take the entirety of Attic with really no issue. They have no one playing Pit. They had no one playing Attic in general. They had the electrocution on the wall with Nuke on the Bandit. However, they didn't use any of it. They didn't use the ability and the information out of it. And Evo is going to be taken down as well as Nuke, put into a 2v4, and it looks like Zomblers is just about ready to lose this map with the way they've played this. They've let the Osa get all the way in, pushing now into the rotate, able to set up a amazing attack for their site, and just like that, Immortals is going to take their first map, and that is absolutely crucial. The way they are able to take that Attic, and just overall, that's a good win.
Yeah, no, I mean, that was, I'm telling you, it's that momentum that they're able to keep up. Immortals R6 just kept the pressure going and going and going, and anytime there was even the slightest gap in Zomblers' positioning, they took it so fast, just running straight in. I mean, Koj, multiple times, just being able to run in with seemingly just no punishment whatsoever. Or if that punishment did come in, it's after one's already came out, and Roam Clear heavily hurt, and that just allows, you know, Immortals R6, the rest of them, to flood, because they don't have to worry about the flank. That's exactly what they did. You know why Koj ran all the way up to kill 1 in Kitchen? It's because they wanted to go rear stage. They wanted to make sure there's no one who's going to do a big flank like that and cause a lot of damage like Zomblers did over by Meeting, which almost cost Immortal R6 that round, but they did turn it around. But regardless, it put them from a very winnable to a much more tense situation. Oh, I'm sorry. Give me just 1 second. What's up?
Theme park.
Oh, yeah, you're right. We're going to go on 5 real quick.
And despite with Koj being an entry, he was very able to play quite fast and quite smooth in that, to be able to get all around, to get behind these defenders and get a little bit of the pot stirred to be able to force something to make something work for the rest of the attacking team. Now having that amount of ground that they can take over with the little bit of pushing that Koj did which is very useful as an entry to be able to make such a strong position and foothold into that for the rest of your attack. And not only that, just leave a general impression of like what's going on in this round. Is it going to be a massively fast round that's going to take the entire defense by surprise and just steamroll them? Or are you going to let it slow burn? You're going to take one at a time. You're going to push very carefully and very sophisticatedly to make something work, which is exactly what we saw in that last round with the Osa push down through Attic. They were able to make it such a slow burn of a push to be able to walk right in. However, Zomblers didn't have any defense for it. They possibly didn't even know that they were taking that big of a hold of Attic up until they were already in Pit. They already had the Talon 8 shields being set on the door for Pit and already in the rotate for Kid's bedroom. And that was just immediate turnaround to secure them the round.
Yep. All right. Now, with that being said, we're going to go on a quick 5-minute break, and then we will move on to the second map. And yeah, Zombler is just barely losing that out. It was a close game. It was really close, but unfortunately, they just could not hang on for that. So, with that being said, we will be on a very quick break as I just need to get a few things set up. And yeah, I will see you guys in a second.